Yo. Oi. I think it is time we begin. Psych! We're not starting now. I'm just kidding, we are starting. But, actually, do I want to start? Yeah, you know what? I'm going to start right... actually, wait. Nah, yeah. That was a good time. Hello and welcome to today's stream. I'm Professor Bodhi, aka Mr. Bonny John. Thank you so much for joining me today. Chat. Godzilla. That is who we're working on today. You guys have been waiting for this. I have been waiting for this. I am excited to... I don't even know. Just... How do you design a Godzilla like? And I guess we can go into, and first of all, I just want to say, you got bamboozled. Okay, enough. We're gonna go start by saying hello to everyone who's joined us today. Hello, Justin. Alex has made it. Rydcar, pass to the Bagel Man. The Bagel Man is new. Draco has made it. Rek is here. And then Sketch. Welcome, you guys. Truly in a goofy mood indeed. Catching up on last night's stream, got you talking about your idea for Guys. They have an idea like that before. I need to. Yeah, I want that so bad. I could talk about it forever. So I'm gonna go into. I would love for, as usual, if you guys have any inspirations I could use for developing out this feature. I think I'm going to work on Godzilla sooner today, because as we'll look at right now, so with the Cthulhu designs, right? I had this 3-stage line, right? Where we had the summation, sea snail, and then it evolves into a creature inspired by the summation sea snail. And then this one is inspired by Luard, and then this one is Cthulhu. So more than likely, I will work on Cthulhu tomorrow. I do want to do a discussion, an open discussion about AI in the recent Pokemon art contest. And, looking at this design or these sets, there's still a lot of room for improvement. I really like the personality of this guy right here. Over here, we have like a base kind of direction for Cthulhu. Whether or not it'll land, we'll see. That said, yesterday night's stream where I was designing, this line for a King Kong inspired line, I was very, very pleased with that final result. Bigfoot needs some love. And I realized yesterday, chat, more or less when it comes to designing a middle stage after all is kind of like that jumping point, right? So I want to definitely tackle Bigfoot tomorrow as well. That said, I've been kind of struggled with trying to find Bigfoot, and it's kind of a funny ask, right? It's like, how do you design a middle stage if you don't know what the final stage looks like, right? Thank you, Sketch. And yeah, having that mandrill kind of take over for the design was very fun. For that final stage, King Kong's hair coming down as like a tail. I think there's a lot to enjoy about the concept of like a trio of kaiju. I do think they're going to evolve quite a bit based on what we're seeing here. For example, the King Kong inspired POTEMPO, he just mostly kind of looks like a gorilla. And I wonder if I need him to be a little more humanoid, to have the inspiration more obvious. That said, looking at these with Godzilla, I started looking up a lot of references as far as what I could use for the middle and first stage. I got suggestions like yesterday, like Kasai Rex, etc., etc. When I looked up Kasai Rex and those kind of entities, there's really not much that exists in their descriptions to really make them feel like a true jumping off point. Hello, Dingus, welcome in. So the Kasai Rex, it's nothing more than, you know, what looks like a Rex-like dinosaur that's, you know, proven to be kind of a hoax. Mostly feeling like a monitor lizard, which I could potentially use as a second stage. I'm not against it. So that said, I kind of think maybe a lizard man approach, because it could be a baby lizard in the beginning, a lizard man, where it's not like a true scary alien looking reptilian lizard man. It could be just kind of more of an upright lizard, monitor lizard, you know, Komodo dragon kind of guy, and then go into something Godzilla inspired. If you still have spots open for POTEMPO inspiration, atmospheric jellyfish, feel free to leave that in the Discord for me so I won't forget. Thank you. G-Max Grimmsnarl could also play into the design. How so? So yeah, chat, I think what I kind of want to do is I want to start with the baby form first. That's what I would say if I had an actual jump off point. I think not a D&D lizard man, more like just like the general concept of one. It's not, yeah, D&D or Lizalfos. It's more like a generalized version. Again, only because what? Godzilla is an upright entity. So if I'm going towards, and I think that this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to bring in two Godzilla likes, and I'm going to see if I can kind of lean more into this first one versus this second one. And you guys will know who I'm talking about right away. So obviously we've recently talked about G-Max, or in general Baxcalibur. But before him, there was an even more Godzilla-like Pokemon. And I say even more, meaning that's what people were kind of saying, like, oh, this is their take on it. And between these two, I like Tyranitar a lot more, even though I do like the colors here. And when I look at these guys, right, I really want to lean more into a Tyranitar kind of side versus Baxcalibur being straight up meant to be Godzilla with the pose and the color palette, even the ice blast that he uses, you know, light blue, kind of like an atomic breath. I was meaning for the King Kong design where it could just be so savage and private. It could be. That kind of stuff is all, you know, subject to change. But that said, I really love that Tyranitar still has the spirit, right, of a Godzilla-like. Um, that's what I think I more want to do, rather than, obviously, as I said, I don't want to, you know, kind of, obviously, like, a shape can be similar. Let's not say any more. I'm just going to jump in. Godzilla's like a fusion between an iguana and a monitor lizard. True. It's got a lot of stuff going on, right? In fact, Zilla, the 98 Godzilla that's like, you know, referred to as Zilla, the Japanese side of that franchise look at Zilla and they're like, it feels more like an animal than a god, right? And that's because it is more animalistic and they had like a more realistic kind of feel to it, and how would an iguana evolve and yada yada yada. I still like that design for its own things, right? Like as a kaiju, that's fine. But it's still very much Godzilla, Zilla, Godzilla, whatever it is. The point being that there's a realism to its design there that kind of loses the essence of Godzilla, but I'm not going to get into that kind of design. At the end of the day, it's like I'm making my own version of Godzilla without, you know, right? Like my King Kong guy, we can look at him. He doesn't look like King Kong, but if I push the design further, specifically the body shape, it would, you know, really feel like King Kong. So I'm not going to make a one-to-one Godzilla, is basically what I'm trying to say. That said, maybe we do start with Godzilla, chat, and kind of work backwards. I don't necessarily mind trying to... You know what? Let's actually do this first. I think... Oh, why is it like that? My tablet was inserted backwards. Okay. So, I guess inspiration or not, what I'll do is I'm going to I'm going to just kind of put down the shapes that I kind of expect to see. So this will be a cute baby lizard. And then again, if you guys have inspiration, right? I'm going to type in baby lizard. You guys let me know. And, ooh. I think I see... We have frilled lizard, because he's going to be wearing a totem mask, right? Or helmet for the first form. And then how does he break through, right? What will be the direction after that? Let's do baby lizard. And they're very cute. They're exactly what you expect, according to all of my... Yeah, I really like this guy with the frills. So why don't I go ahead and slide my canvas over. And because it's a baby, you know, I think what I kind of want to do is I might make the basis of my Godzilla. Again, I want to be able to do animals that Pokemon haven't quite gotten to yet, right? So for example, the Mandrill or King Kong. I love chameleons, and we really don't have a lot of chameleon. What is this leg? Let's just simplify. Maybe I can have it hooked like that there, or I could do... chameleon would be really cool, like an upright chameleon Godzilla looking thing. These look like frog. You know what? According to my reference, these... Oh, they have 5 fingers. He'll have a more elongated kind of head. I can give him like a frilled kind of neck piece underneath. And, you know, if at any given time I'm like adapting these kind of designs and whatnot, and I'm like, crap, how should I draw this, that, or the other? I could also look up like Pokemon and whatnot, right? And just see, for example, I should probably look up, oh, what's his name? Inteleon's baby form, Sobble. Because Sobble's got, oh, Sobble's shapes are very simple. Maybe I don't want to do that. What's going on, JC? Welcome, welcome. Ultimately, it could be inspired by the Basilisk. That's true. I guess, yeah, with these lizard representations I'm seeing, it can be very, very simple. Like the Pokemon Kecleon. Yeah, Kecleon would be another good one. I don't really... What's going on with its legs? I'm trying to think how to do this. Because you don't want it to look... I guess its body could be longer. And again, chat, if you guys have any... What's the word? Point of references for as far as mythologies, let me know. I guess, yeah, the head could kind of come like this. Would you reference Zilla? Maybe. The idea is, again, I'm more looking to design something more like Tyranitar than I would say another reptile that might work, the Tuara, the third eye. Oh, yeah, so the idea is I'm trying to kind of reference Tyranitar more than I am Baxcalibur. You know? I guess lizards are more kind of low to the ground, right? So maybe I bring the... Guess I could... Because the thing is, someone mentioned Salamander, right? And the reason why I don't want to do Salamander is because I'm going to have a Charizard-inspired mom. And that's like a 2-stage line. And so that line will be just a 2-stage line. And I'm going to have... The Salamander was apparently known for breathing fire. And so it feels right that, you know, something simple. I would have to make sure that this design and that baby form for the Charizard inspired line are different, you know? You know what would bring this design? Photorealistic human lips. Ugh. Some lizards have that. Yeah, I could check up. You know what? It wouldn't hurt to look up the Tuara. Oh, I mean, they look pretty cool. They've got like the ridges. They don't look any more unlike anything that I wasn't picturing of adding, you know? But I guess if anything, it does kind of show me that I could have the body kind of like almost pressed to the ground, potentially. Mythical Salamander is also known for bit. Yeah, exactly. Why it feels right to like have that guy be the inspiration, or maybe I won't do the frilled lizard stuff. I don't think it's super necessary. Yeah, I was looking up lizards earlier to use for reference, and I just couldn't get anything. So if you guys know anything, because I'd either want all my designs, even the first forms, to reference something, or the first forms don't necessarily have to reference something. You know? And I want to make sure that doesn't read like a crocodile, you know, versus say, you know, a lizard. The Honengyo would be a good inspiration. It's a kaiju like yokai. Thing is, I already have a ton of Japanese inspired stuff, as I've said before. I'll look it up. Honengyo. Oh, yeah. Oh. That's definitely got to be Godzilla inspired. Fruitful Year Fish. Honengyo are strange fish or amphibian yokai which occasionally appear in rivers. They can quite grow over at least 2 meters long. They have legs like a turtle. Their eyes are like mirrors. Their bodies are long and flexible like a weasel, and they're covered in scales like a snake. They have black spiked dorsal fins. Honengyo has also gained attention due to the Edo period's illustration similarity to the Showa era movie monster Godzilla, who appeared in theaters almost 90 years after Honengyo's newspaper debut. Very cool. I mean, yeah, they could have easily just referenced that, right? For that Salamander line, would you actually pull from Salamander mythology? Probably, just to help the visual design, you know? Like, with my designs, I'm not outright, like, saying, like, it needs to be those things, right? Just like my Godzilla design that I'm going to be working on right now. It doesn't need to be Godzilla. It doesn't need to have the same properties. It doesn't need the same color breath weapon. It doesn't need the same mine's as an inspiration, right? Hello, Spore. Welcome in. Welcome in. Maximus saying 2 lizards that come to mind that I haven't seen: Pokemon Thorny Devil and the Basilisk. Thank you. That's the kind of stuff. So we can definitely incorporate things like that just to help. Thorny Lizard, I was originally planning on doing for like a gargoyle, because they've got like this kind of rocky texture skin like thing, obviously with all the spikes and all that. The Basilisk Lizard could work too, just because the scales in the back, like the dorsal fin, could be something, you know. But maybe the third eye could be a marketing totem. It could. Hello, Poker Rex. Hello, hello. Uh-oh, Draco. Another Rex here. Welcome in. But yeah, let's just put down this first form. You could really do any, you know, type really, or something like that. Let's get his face down. So, ooh, here's a really cute picture of a Tuatara. I don't really see its third eye thingy here, but again, it's less about trying to mark the real world animal in the design of this creature and more like, you know, a third eye is very much something seen in psychic kind of types, right? Anything that has to deal with, you know, designs where an astral or supernatural side is, right? Since this creature doesn't really have that, it's not necessary. Okay, let's get the wood markings down for this tempo. It could be really cool leaning into a chameleon for sure. Thorny lizard would also make sense. What's your coloring? No, there's two of them. Be cool, cute if it had blue tongue like a skink. As we know, can't see these guys' faces. They're hiding from the world, and it's up to the trainers to get them out. I know Godzilla has like a lot of blue in its design. I'm only putting blue as a placeholder since the ape definitely has got like more red in his design, and Cthulhu has more green. So let's see how blue works. I don't want to overtly step on Godzilla's toes, no pun intended, for the final design, right? Let's just put down some colors just to, you know, figure out placement and stuff like that. Bigger head? Potentially a bigger head, potentially. It would stand right to do a bigger head for the first stage. I like the idea that all the Potempo have yellow eyes. I've mentioned this before. At the very least, the first form, because the yellow pops underneath, um, you know, the mask. So let's see. I don't know if I want the eyes to be glowing for all the baby Potempo, the first stage Potempo, or if that they're, you know, still from a lighting perspective, it's just that yellow would still appear bright within the shadows that are cast underneath a helmet. You know? So they'll always have this kind of black kind of thing, so its face is kind of hidden. And then the Bonny John special, got to get a little bit of a highlight there. So let's give you can have blue face paint on his mask. Why does Kaiju Chew wear totems on their head? All Potempo babies have Potempo or totem heads. It's part of the visual language, and then also there's like a thematic reason why, which is that, you know, their potential is kind of hidden, and it's up to the trainers, or whatever word I come up with, to essentially kind of be their guides, you know, fall into a tempo with their POTEMPO and unleash their potential within them. When I describe it like that, proof of concept sounds pretty dang good, huh? Okay, so let's just say that's the baby form for now. Colors are pretty boring, nothing exciting. The first original Godzilla, wasn't it in black and white? That's probably why. Red, green, and blue trio is a classic, true, right? I like this guy. Good, good, good. Turn this into an icy monster. How do you draw so well with a mouse? Yeah, I don't. I use a pen. Let's see here. For totem head designs, would there be a POTEMPO that totem look more like the top of a totem versus the bottom ones? Well, Kofi, there is a straight up one of my previous designs that I think I'll be making into a legendary will be straight up like a totem pole inspired kind of creature. So I guess maybe that kind of answers that question. Actually, let's do it like this. This doesn't look like an alligator, does it? I'm hoping it don't. And again, once I kind of figure out the look feel of the Godzilla inspired POTEMPO, you know, I will adjust the rest of the designs accordingly, right? Like I'm designing a baby form and a middle stage form for a creature who I have no idea what they look like, right? Maybe there are other Godzilla related kaiju you could base the pre. Yeah, that's true. That is true, Alex. That's actually a great point. I missed a live stream where the totem heads were introduced. Yeah, because that was just something like I was kind of sitting on for a while. I'm like, I knew I wanted something where I could really, you know, the thing is, for a lot of people who make their own Pokemon likes and what, right? They end up all looking like Pokemon, for better or for worse, right? Sometimes, you know, people want more Pokemon, right? Like, but I wanted to make sure that, you know, my thing looks like, you know, something only I could make. And, you know, obviously art style is one way to solve that. But another way to do that is finding uniformity in your designs, right? Coming up with, that's why to me, like, it's so very important, like when people ask like, oh, what's like the design conventions of POTEMPO, and I have like a solid answer, right? Because if someone wants to make Pokemon designs, you can find guides and look up works and be like, yeah, the Sugimori style looks like a certain kind of way, you know. I want people, if they ever wanted to make POTEMPO, be like, okay, it's got to look in this kind of style, like how Bonnie does it, so it feels legit, you know. Okay, let's just say something like this for the first form. There's no real inspiration. I'll mark down things like thorny, lizard, basilisk. They could really show up in the final form more so. But he's cute. He's a cute little guy. Nothing special. Again, Chad, if you wanted to find some points of reference that I could use from other mythologies, please let me know. I would be very grateful. Okay, lizard guy done. Feels a little too basic. That's fine. I'm literally putting my very first draft. How many layers do you normally do for your doodles? As of right now, this is all in one layer. I kind of just, you know, do layer by layer and then I merge because I find it just easier to manipulate, you know? Looks lizardy to me. Maybe you could have a spike crest on it that also reveals a clown. First stage, the Little King. That's true. That is true. There are fun ways. I could give him like maybe some sort of like dorsal fin like this. Which could be like a nod to maybe the dorsal plates that appear on my final guy's back. Again, don't expect it to be like, you know, exactly like Godzilla. I'm just going to keep saying it so everybody's expectations level. But a crust wouldn't be a bad thing at all. It could be yellow. Now, I have to give them equal footing. Just because this guy is inspired by Godzilla doesn't mean this guy's the strongest one or the best one. I want everybody to enjoy the Cthulhu design and the Godzilla inspired design and the whatever kind of design equally, right? They should all feel similar. So I won't outright call it something like the Little King, things like that. It's just kind of reptile so far. Croc's got more longer face. That's true. That is true. How many Potempo have been made so far? I would say maybe a good 40, 50, 60, I want to say, something like that. I think I tried to count a while ago, and that may have been around, I want to say like 40 or 50. So I don't know how many I've made since then. All right, sounds pretty cool. That was the Wukong one, I believe. Oh, okay, good memory, Rack. You know what made this look like lizard, not alligator? Giant tattoo on its side that says lizard. That is true. Thorny Basilisk Tuara. Just 3 things I can pull from. Adding some icicles or some icy elements to make it look like a Shimo would be a pretty quick and easy way to give it clear inspiration. Thing is, I don't want it to have a true inspiration, you know? And then if I do make it ice-like, then that really becomes more like Baxcalibur, which is its own thing. It's a baby. It is a baby. Welcome in, Hikari. Just imagine it running on all 4 legs over the water. The Mo'o from Hawaii mythology is a fun lizard. I was seeing that, but do they have like a proper description that I can use? He looks like a punk. That's cute. Cheers so far. All got king vibes, at least to me. That's good. Can't wait for more inanimate. You might have to be waiting a little longer. I don't think I have a lot of object style ones. Not because I was ever, made to be afraid to do it because people don't seem to like Object Mon. I've said on the record I do like Object Mon. But I just happen to, as of right now in this first incarnation, just really found a really awesome batch of like nearly 140 designs that are animals and design concepts like that, you know? Okay. He looks pretty good to me. Actually, does he even need... Yeah, let's do that. Yo, he's pretty cool. What's up, Jay? Welcome in, welcome in. So cute and very awesome. Cool, cool, cool. Maybe some light elements. JC's actually here. So here we have the first guy. Now, for the second one, I think, Chad, I'm going to probably... I think I want to jump right into Godzilla. And that's because the second form, it's got to be an in-between kind of stage, right? Yes and no. It doesn't necessarily have to track like serendipitously like Pokemon where it's like a baby, a teenager, and an adult. Let me try. You know what? Let's try doing the middle stage. He needs to breathe. He can breathe. He's got his nose. He's a spirit. Okay. So let's go ahead. I'm gonna take my quick stretch break. I didn't stretch all of the 2 hours and 30 minutes I was drawing for about 15 before heading to work. Gotcha. I think this trio of kaiju will really come into their own. All equally strong when there's more concise. Yes, exactly. And the thing is, look, the kaiju, it's not like they're it is possible that I kind of give him a pseudo legendary rank. But even then, the thing is, in Pokemon, you get one pseudo legendary. Um, he needs to sniff. He can still sniff. Um, whole family's here. Um, so I would say that, yeah, like you get one pseudo legendary, like if we're lucky, 100 Pokemon in a generation, right? So to make three pseudo legendary, maybe I could have three, but how do you balance that? Because people would want to have all three kaijus. Yeah, I think what I'm just going to do is they're just going to be. I mean, when I say regular Potempo, I'm not trying to downgrade them. Um, but um, I guess what would you say? Yeah, they're inspired by. I can't act like, they're meant to be like bigger and better than everybody else. Like, I want the Chimera to feel as strong as these guys. Um, there's still a lot of cool designs that we have to make. I have a Sphinx split line that's going to be coming, which will be really cool. Um, but okay, I'm going to. You know what? I think I will give the Lizard Man a try. Um, let's have him jump a little upright. And again, I don't need him to look, like a teenager version um, of the designs. Let's see. Yeah, I think you're right, Dingus. I think you're right. I think it's a matter of just making him a little harder to um, obtain. I think that sounds about right. Maybe this time the basilisk kind of thing can, um, in my eyes, if people want to use all three of them, they do. If they don't, they got plenty. Yeah, but that's the thing that makes me scared. Like, I know I shouldn't care about what people want to use if I'm creating these mons, but I think for that reason, I am creating, I don't want to put out anything but my best designs. And then that's why I was like, oh, originally I was like, I might make the, Blastoise, Charizard, Venusaur inspired guys, pseudo legendaries, because I didn't want people to like make a team with those guys. But now I've made, at the very least, my Blastoise inspired guy doesn't look like Blastoise. It's just he's kind of like a secret nod and homage to him, you know. Um, but to balance, make it harder to get the other two Hydro Potempo, maybe the other two Mass Break, and you got to find the pieces. Wow, that is very interesting. The other two Mass Break. What if you did the Reggie DLC style where you can only find or fight one depending? Oh, interesting. That's also cool. Although I don't plan on creating any sort of um what's the word? Mm, like I don't want trading, right? Trading was a selling point or oh, I'm kind of feeling a Typhlosion feel here for this lizard boy. Um Person with internet, welcome back. Welcome back. Um so yeah, that seems like on one hand I don't want to obviously people will do whatever they want. But that's where balancing comes into play. Why has the guy got a little mask? Oh, then it's been a really long time since you've joined. Um Chat, I'm gonna let you guys field the frequently asked questions before I lose my train of thought. Um, but basically, that's where balance comes in, right? That's why I'm making my Charizard and Venusaur inspired and all those kind of guys. Um, they'll have only two stages, so they're not as strong. So with these kind of guys, their inspiration is no more, legendary. And the reason why I'm including them, right, when you really think about it, is to me the way I look at these guys, right? King Kong, Godzilla, and Cthulhu are, in large part, they are, you know, their own mythology, right? So Bonnie, you saw that new RPG making come out where you can create a game with a group of people online through it. You know what I'm thinking? I have an idea what you're thinking. Um, yeah, the thing is, I would argue that when it comes to like balancing between, say, like, oh, they're kaiju, but it's like, no, they're inspired by kaiju. Trying to get this guy's pose down. Hmm. A Brody Jones dating sim. He'll get canceled immediately. Um, People should feel like they aren't forced to do one thing or another. If I'm going to choose an OP, I should be allowed. I should also be able to choose an underpowered team. It's all about variety. That's why I'm not doing like a, what do you call it? A type system. I don't want to kind of shoehorn people into like making teams because they need to cover gaps. But I think factors like what mons people would want to use will be very dependent on stats or abilities if this was a game. Obviously, design and balance are important, but it really depends. I would say, ooh, I like this discussion, chat. I would say the totem heads are kind of like the binds that keep... Yes, exactly, Dingus, that's exactly right. I'd say that the totem heads are kind of like binds that keep the spirits in the world. When they evolve, they no longer meant... Exactly. It's the connection with their trainers that, you know, kind of help them feel comfortable in this world, right? They're kind of like shy and privy to this new space. They've got all this like energy inside of them. This kind of like what do you call, like, unbridled energy, and they need like a medium, right? Like we were talking the other day, like trying to figure out a word to potentially describe ooh, I kind of want to make him like a chameleon. I'd be really sick. I love chameleons. Instead of types with advantages and weaknesses, the domains could you access to exclusive. Yeah, I'm really looking at Yu-Gi-Oh. I like the idea of like domain, man, domains expanding, where more or less like terrains. It would be like in Yu-Gi-Oh, you could summon down field cards. That's how I kind of picture, like, in my current thought process, like domains are, um, you know what I mean? Like, are these kind of area of effects. So it could be new moves. It could be giving creatures power bonuses. Um, One way or another, it's still some sort of like element that helps you define the environment, right? And therefore the types. It could be cool if maybe adjacent domains could get buffs or debuffs, things like that. But that's something I have to really sit down. Though if you do types, that would solve your issue with pseudos. If they're all the same type, players will share. Yeah, but no, like, I would never do that, though. I would never make them the same type. In the same way, like, I guess, like, so Articuno, Zapdos, and Moltres are legendaries, right? And they've got 3 different types, but you could still put them on your team. You could have a team in Gen 1, Articuno, Zapdos, Moltres, Mewtwo. I think those are all the legendaries because Mew is outside of the game. So, yeah, in reality, of course, everybody can make the team they want. But yeah, I'm still thinking about balance, and my kind of thing that I've been thinking about, obviously with the legendaries of the game, they're going to be Potempo that you find, and you have to earn their respect. You can never own them. They will just simply lend your power. So it'll be like a cutscene, or that would bring them down, into the space of the world, and they fight, with you for like 3 turns or something. Um, and when I think about that, those are Potempo that you don't catch. But like as far as registering for your decks and saying that you met them, that's part of that completionist kind of thing. So I have an idea. There could just simply be tiers of like rarities and stuff. Maybe just to give them just a little bit more credence. Maybe they have like unique moves or something. You know?
Domain expansion, legendary POTEMPO.
And then Bonnie, do you watch Doctor Who? So what are your thoughts on the new season? I love Doctor Who, Alec. But I have not seen this series after Capaldi. I'm not even finished with Capaldi's season, who I really liked his season from what I had seen, and I just kind of fell off of it for whatever reason. So I'm a little further back, you know. Domain sounds very cool because they're more of a field effect and everything. Yeah, that's kind of what I've been planning with those guys. For example, Lithic could terraform and have generally defensive moves. The Dune Worm could have an ability that pulls in peeps like some kind of sandy whirlpool. Gotta give this design red eyes as a reference to the lizard people in the government. Yeah, that's true. That's what people say. Was the Temple Legendaries called Mythic Domain? Yes, all the legendaries, basically the ones you can't catch and that you summon as allies, they're all in the mythic status. So they just are on their own plane. Like in a double battle, 4 different domains are on the same field, like say windy and sandy. So it's not so much windy or sandy, it's just their specific domains. So I don't have formal types like that. But I like the brainstorm. I think one of the Potempo should be like a glass cannon. Yeah, all those kind of tropes. You'll have tanky ones, glass cannon ones, things like that. I kind of think of the relationship exactly. I would say it's probably more like druids, right? Like, you're really kind of leaning on nature to assist you here, right? Can we get more likes on the stream? You heard them. Let's get some more likes, gang. I appreciate that. Hello, welcome in, Ninja I think it's cool that you can summon them from their world rather than catch them. Really gives that. Yeah, exactly. And I think it'll be really cool and more impactful that way. Like, I don't want to make, again, Pokemon already does so many things wonderfully, right? I don't need to make a Pokemon clone. I don't need to be like, they do exactly the same thing and they live in our world and they do this and that. Obviously, there are plenty of things that are inspired by Pokemon that's going to be in here. But I like the idea that they're creatures from another world. It makes also the moments where if there's a rampaging Potempo, right? Or like someone's using them and we have to quell them. It's a lot more interesting because it's like this kind of event that people have to be afraid of, right? Not necessarily afraid of, but like maybe that's why people are afraid of them. That's why many people don't believe in Potempo. Maybe people go their whole lives and they can't see them or interact with them, right? Is it wrong that I hope the Kaiju Potempo? No, why would it be wrong? I think domains are the signature moves. No, they're not the signature moves. Domains are the... I don't want to use the word types because vernacular, right? Vocabulary is very, very important for games like this, right? So if I were to say, oh, the Potempo's type is cryptic and lithic, people are going to be like, oh, okay, what's weak to cryptic and what's weak to lithic? And then I have to be like, oh, actually, no, it's not like that. And they're like, oh, well, you said type. So that's why domain is a word that denotes like a category, right? But it's not that they're using that specifically to you know define their weaknesses and stuff. It's more currently like a, I guess you could say it's more like a classifier, right? Dingus writes, Dingus, all these amazing questions you always ask in every stream, put those in the Discord for me. I'd appreciate that. Here's a question. Can Potempo somehow turn into other species of their kind, maybe even turn human? In Japanese folklore, it's common for animals to turn to people. And it's not just Japanese. It's many, many world cultures do that. I think there's a lot of really awesome discussion there to be had for sure. I've thought about in a very Digimon-like way, right? In Digimon, there's this cool thing where, like, whether the creatures are get corrupted and whatnot, I'm not entirely sure. There is this kind of thing where the, like, for example, and I was so bummed out by this, like, I think my Agumon turned into this, like, one snail guy or slug guy. I was like, oh my god, what did I do wrong? And apparently, you know, I didn't take care of him correctly. So there could be something really cool, like some sort of like reroll mechanic. Maybe it could be this really cool thing where, you know, by the way, this is like a very placeholder kind of design. Don't take a lot of stock into this one because, again, I have Lizard Man listed, but I don't think it's a true base of inspiration, you know? So I think there would be something really, really cool where if they are spirits, right, are they locked into one species? Why or why not? Right? So, well, they don't necessarily serve just as categories. It is that's why I said classification. In categories is like in the same word. They are still affected in a larger capacity, you know, where, you know, fire type would mean that, you know, you're weak to water and strong against this or that, whatever. Having a domain as of now, it doesn't mean you're necessarily weak to, you know, any other domain, but I like the idea that it, like, just like, for example, we kind of like potentially assume a lot of electric types are fast, right? And we assume that certain rock types are have very high defense, same with like steel. I'm seeing a world where domains would infer, like, for the most part, things in the lithic domain are hardy kind of Potempo, high HP, high defense, high attack, and those that are in the occult are probably more mindful of, or more stronger of their minds, right? I think the Lizard Man should have a tie pattern. Oh, is domain similarly structured to the levels of danger? As in, is this what it can do? Maybe the second stage could be Honengyo. Like I've been saying, chat, like I just don't want to keep doing Japanese yokai. It's a little overdone in my world, you know? So I want to see if I can get more, you know, otherworld mythologies. So Honengyo would be a pretty solid choice because it kind of fits. But I want to see if I can get, as I've said, more world mythologies involved, you know? I think domain, the capture device could be a small object that connects their world to ours, like some kind of small. That's what my concept, if you guys remember, the lanterns were for. The lanterns were meant to be when you're reaching in there, your hand is going into a dimension, and the flame that represented the Potempo in that version would be, you know, you plucking them from that world, you know? So it's one way or another, the capture device for sure would be a place of like kind of like a Pokeball, but like we never really see or know like the true nature of a Pokeball. It's kind of like described here and there. The idea is that they turn into data, right? Kind of like a Digivice. So I think for me, whatever the capture device is going to be, it'll largely be something like, yeah, like a place, a home away from home for them. Um, so what Maximus is asking, oh, is domain similarly structured to the levels of danger? No, it's definitely more of like a classifier. So, I mean, I have here for the new folks, since we do have some new folks here over the last few days, I can kind of show you guys the domain structure. So just to kind of, again, help you guys understand, it's not so much that they're weaker or stronger than anyone. But Typic would be like, you can imagine the normal fighting and bug types. Lithic are your ground, rock, steel. Runic are your elemental types like fire, electric, water, ice, wind. Possibly grass in there as well, like in nature. But I kind of like grass potentially to be in lithic as well, like something of the earth. Cryptic would be, fairy type in a way, object mon, anything that's unexplained. Gothic is your psychic, ghost, dark, and like necro. Mythic would be dragon, fairy. But again, don't think of them as dragon types. Like all dragons or all fairies, they are on their own class. They're not anywhere close to. The mythics are not ones you catch. You summon them. So this is like the kind of circle that I've kind of made. So the mythic is on the highest of its own tier. In reality, you're catching these 5. The Gothic is on the other side of Typic, with Runic being like the mid space between them. Cryptic on this side with the Gothic, Lithic and Typic. What Typic means is like your normal, typical. Lithic meaning using stone and whatnot. So, let's see. Fresno Nightcrawler. Tell me about the Fresno Nightcrawler, chat. Whenever you give me suggestions, let me know what they look like and more of their background so I can kind of get a picture. Would there be held items? I think too early to say. Take care, JC. Thank you for hanging out with us. Be right back. Whoa, we haven't talked about domains in a while. It's nice. With the Kaiju trio, no. They're not going to be mythic. They will be. I already have like about. Let me see. In a weird way, how do I describe how I have a guaranteed or lower level mythics? Think like on the vein of Articuno Zapdos Moltres, and then 3 3 in this game I'm thinking to be the higher level ones. And 1 pseudo mythic. I don't want to say any more than that. So, does anything you have so far really fit in Typic? A lot fit in Typic, believe it or not. It's basically just a pair of walking pants. I think someone did ask about that or mention that before. What awesome classification structure. Thank you. The living creature, cryptid. You might have missed my previous question. Oh, I see it there. Cool. How did I miss that? Another question. Do the wood from Totem Heads come from a special tree? I can imagine those trees being sacred in more rural societies. That's really cool. I would say maybe not. It's since they're a spiritual creature, I think their wooden helmets are kind of maybe born from materials from their plane. It could be a really cool story that maybe and even in my earlier design docs, I did have like a really cool tree design. It could be maybe they're all carved from that tree, something like that. But as of now, nothing like that, but that's a really awesome question. It's a really fun thing to think about. I just realized you never colored the domains other than Mythic. Yeah, because I think it's still too kind of early to. Um, I want to design more creatures and truly sit down and like figure out. Um, it'll be pretty obvious, I think, right? Like I think Gothic will be like purple. Cryptic, I think I want to do like black or gray, like shadow, like unknown. Lithic would definitely be something like, I think like a grayish color. Um, Typic would be um, like a ruddy red, like a brick red or clay orange, even brown. And then Runic, I can see Runic being this really beautiful pearlescent range of colors, like red, blue, yellow, green, because they're like the elements, right? Um, Brownies from Scottish lore, they kind of look like gnomes that clean up houses. I do have my gnome likes. Welcome back, Draco. Gothic is Cthulhu for sure. Yeah. Um, it could be Gothic for Cthulhu. Um, maybe Cryptic for Kong, and depending on the direction, either Runic or Lithic, or the Godzilla inspired. They came born from one being. Maybe they were born from one large or wooden god. Maybe it might have to do with that one legendary I mentioned who looks like a totem. And for potential domains for part two, Relic. Yes, I mentioned Relic before. Yeah, and it is cool to like kind of inevitably maybe add, um, you know, more like types and whatnot in later games. Like it's been a long time since we've had a new type in Pokemon. Stellar doesn't count. But yeah, remember when um Fairy came out? Like, when I was a kid and Steel and Dark came out, my mind was blown. And it kind of made me wonder, like, oh, is there going to be a new set of types in the next game? And that's why Fairy blew my mind, because it was so long since we last got a new type. Um, Maybe for the 10th anniversary, they really will shake it. Not 10th anniversary, for the 10th generation, maybe shake it up again, right? It's been a while since we got another true type, so we shall see. How would held items work? Way too early to say. Way too early. Like, I don't even know how the types work, let alone, um, you know. So I don't really have an answer for that. Okay, let's do this. Let me start working on Godzilla. Um, and as I was saying, I want to see how I can do it. Imagining a relic domain POTEMPO being based on, oh my god, that'd be so sick. That would be another really I might have to do that in like a future title if I'm lucky and this ever becomes a thing. Nightcrawler in chat, thank you. It's crazy with all the types we have, there hasn't been another evolution. I'm also calling it now. I've said it before on stream. Quote me. I really think we're gonna get a what do you call it? A dragon evolution. Dragon evolution coming Gen 10. Watch. I can imagine items being like charms and talismans. Exactly. Yeah. It could be anything like that. Above their heads would make sense. Maybe it's adorning the wood. But the issue is, like, visually it's really cool that I have like the wood and the natural kind of stuff, because Pokemon's got a very specific look feel, right? It's kind of got like a futuristic kind of feel. Mine is like kind of the opposite. It's this carved, man-made yet spiritual kind of feeling. It's not man-made, it's like made in conjunction with mankind and like spirits, right? Bye, take care, Spore. Dragon's the only special type left, at least in terms of gens 1-3. I wish Stellar was more interesting. It's very boring. So what's good with Stellar? I remember I kind of unlocked it, and then that was around the time I just kind of stopped playing because I did everything I needed. Um, what's good with that? That's like the shiny kind of one, right? Yeah, let me do like Jackson's Chameleon maybe as like an inspiration for my. I'm gonna make the head a little smaller. I still doubt they'll do it. It feels like they're avoiding it. Well, I think the reason why they're avoiding it is they probably wanted it for a special occasion, right? And what more special than Generation 10, right? Um, if you don't do it Gen 10, when could you really do it? I mean, theoretically, you could do it whenever, right? It's not like, in a way, I guess it made sense um, for a France region, this very romance region, to feature a type like fairy, which has those connotations of love and all that kind of stuff, you know? Um, so, yeah, to me, I do think that um, whether or not they were saving it for a Generation 10, it's one of those things that like drum up excitement. You know, like, I mean, we should all be excited for Gen 10 as it were, right? When it comes to, um, you know, something along the lines of an evolution or, you know, like those are the kind of things that truly get the internet exploding with excitement, right? Obviously, anything Pokemon announces will always, you know, always be met with like excitement, but also criticism. So when you're like, you know, coming on to 30 years of a franchise that, you know, people are be like, oh, Pokemon's dead, Pokemon's this, it's for kids, it's, and it just keeps defying the odds. Like, come on. Um, doesn't have to be items, really could be engravings of the heads. Each engravings could give them special effects. It would, I think the way I see it is, think um it would be really cool for visualization. You know, have you guys seen Celtic ruins or even Viking runes? Like, it would be really simple shapes. So it could be like items have like specific symbols. I don't know. Here's like a random. I don't know if this means anything in any language, but imagine this kind of like symbol kind of appears above their head and it's like flaming. Um, it looked like, you know, these kind of runes that kind of glow above their head. Maybe that could be like a way to like showcase items and things, right? Um, Stellar is neutral against everything and has no weaknesses. It's just Superior makes good use off of it though. Why Superior exactly? Stellar is its own type. You keep their own type weaknesses, and you get a weaker stab moves. However, you get. Wait, what? Stellar isn't its own type. You keep their own type weaknesses. But then Dingus said over here, it has no weaknesses. Neutral against everything, but you get stab. If you count the actual Pico clones, there's 10 and there's 8 Eevees. Blood type, sound type. Kind of looks like a cow with the horn and ears. Moo cow dragon. I could have totally seen Stellar being what we've always called a light type. I agree, yeah. Now it's a matter of, do we need the light type? Do we need the sound type? Do we need the, you know what I mean? Like, I think for them, Fairy was a need because why? You had a balance reason to add them. You know, I've seen a lot of people say like, oh, we could do sound type because, you know, there's a lot of Pokemon that they could retroactively, what do you call, retcon, that we could retcon. That's true. You could retcon it, but like, what would it do for the bigger picture of Pokemon, right? Does it, you know, nerf like types that are too strong? Does it create more balance? Does it give, I think like one of the best things those kind of things could do is buff up other types as well, right? So I think with Gen 10, I'm hoping for some sort of like major, what's the word? Just shake up the scene a little bit. Kangaskhan vibes right now. Could it Godzilla POTEMPO feel larger and look smaller compared to the Kong and Cthulhu? I would want them all to be like a similar size for sure. Superior and Porygon Z have stats and moves that work with Stellar. Gotcha. Fairy type already kind of fits the role of Light type. That's true too. Stellar only exists in terms of terrestrialization. As far as I'm aware, it doesn't have any moves to complement except maybe Terra Blast. Yeah, so it seems like it's very much still meant to be part of this generation, kind of be left behind, right? Maybe shoulder spines on the shoulder, like Regal, think Tyranitar, but with spiky spines instead of feather, or Thagomizer at the tip of the tail, maybe. Superior also makes you Stellar, because Stellar Blast lowers your attack stats by 1, but the ability contrary raises it instead. Bonnie has the best fake mon ever? Hell yeah, thanks. Thank you, Wes. Welcome in. Let's go ahead, and yeah, I'm gonna give him... Again, I want to use a chameleon for this guy's look. If, Godzilla's got, like, all these various lizards and reptiles and dinosaurs. Is it Jackson's chameleon, the one with the triple horns? Well, yeah. Okay, so I'm going to... You guys see this okay? Okay, there we go. I like the chameleon's got like this kind of thing going on here. He's gonna have these like horns over here. Kind of like Rhydon in a way here. I do want him to have like dorsal kind of spikes. And it's like kind of like my version of like a pseudo legendary dragon, right? But he's got like a Godzilla kind of like body shape. I always like these kind of like Bulbasaur shapes. I'm sorry, chat. You guys have told me what that is all the time, and I keep forgetting. Like those kind of splotches just always adds a ton of character. Rec was right about them keeping their type defensively. I know Pokemon would never do this with other Pokemon, but do you think other Pokemon should receive a soft redesign like Pikachu? They kind of done that with Charizard's model and Venusaur's model recently, and they look so much better. They have so much more personality in such a small simple way. So, I believe Terrapagos is just a normal type outside of terrestrialization. Terrapagos can't possibly be normal. I think it is. I'm bigger in the sense that right now he looks less grand than the King Kong and Cthulhu. Don't worry, it's just a sketch. No weird chameleon eyes? No, it would lose its personality. Meaning, or rather, we need to give it a personality. If I give it chameleon eyes, it would, I think, Well, let's see. Something interesting I found in the Thorny Devil is that his scales from water will be collected towards its mouth. Really? That makes sense, right? The spots are birthmarks. Yeah, it's his birthmarks. I have a birthmark, actually, a pretty big one on my stomach. My nephew, both my nephews have one too. I wonder how much of his, is it like random or hereditary in some way? What? I've heard like really fun theories. Well, it's kind of fucked up when you think about it. But one theory was like, you can give chameleon eyes and be threatening. I think so. But I worry that if I'd rather give like say chameleon eyes to this guy and let this guy kind of feel like a pseudo dragon chameleon type of thing, you know? Maybe like T-Rex, like jaws and teeth. I would so love that. If you give it chameleon eyes, they can be looking opposite of your personality. You can be dirt. You would love that. He's definitely gonna have sharp teeth. Don't worry. Okay. So let's go ahead and I'm getting kind of like Tyranitar vibes, which is good because Tyranitar is like kind of an inspiration, but bad because I don't want it to be Tyranitar. So I'm gonna kind of hit a little flip ski. And I think through the coloration, I'll be able to really kind of figure out what it should look like. Yeah, it's the dark mode where and how you died thing. Exactly. I have a friend and she's got she's very squeamish with eyes. Understandably, right? Eyes are like a soft part of our body. But she has a really cool feature in one of her eyes. There's like a split from the iris, only on one eye. And I was like, I kind of felt bad after I said it because I was like, I know she's squeamish, so I didn't mean to like kind of like insinuate, but I was like, what if something happened to your eye in a previous life, and that's why you have that split there? It's a very beautiful and cool looking mark on her eye. But you know, I was like, oh, maybe I should have said that. Okay. Bonnie, you were saying something about Birthmark's origin. Yeah, basically that. Bro turned his whole world upside down. The tongue could be the breath weapon. Oh, that's smart. Maybe use a bit of Tyrantrum with the Tyranitar, like legs probably. She's an anime pro tag. Yeah, I felt really bad about saying that, but you know, she knew I meant well. Yeah, I mean, I felt bad only because she's again squeamish with the eye stuff, but it's like that's just so crazy that you have like an eye thing and it's kind of like a birthmark. What's your favorite Fossilmon, Tyrantrum? It's a little obvious, or maybe like kind of an easy mode answer. So I'll give you. I like Kabutops a lot. I think he's very cool. Who else? I like Bastiodon. I don't love its color palette, and I think Rampardos could have looked a little cooler. Gotta say, I think this is going on my team. Hell yeah. And I say dumb stuff all the time. You're fine. That's why Dingus part of my name. What's good, Bonators? What's up, Zach? Ammonite is by far the cutest for sure. Ammonite's very cute. Maybe maybe I can give this guy like stronger legs, kind of like Godzilla. No, that kind of just looks goofy, I think. Let me see. Yeah. Maybe I extend the Dracovish. I really wish we got like the complete version. It is very fun and clever that they made fun of the British paleontologists, but it kind of made and this is how much I'm a sensitive man, but like I was always saddened by the idea that they're like never get to be their original selves, you know? Like, I kind of see them as like abominations, which is what those paleontologists did, right? A lot of times, the whole story behind that is they were kind of racing to like find fossils and get like, you know, creatures in their exhibit for so people could come and you know, give them money. So that's why they were like so inaccurate. Many times they just kind of like assumed and kind of let me do their heads like this. Do I want to They're perfect the way they are. At the Jenny fossils, I know the joke man. I like the one with the Pikachu kind of thing, like the insinuation that it's like an ancient Pikachu. That one is really cute. You got thick thighs. All right, the dorsal fins here. Dragazole. Let's see. Okay, so the chameleon's got these spikes. Ooh, you know what? Okay, so I do that. Chameleons have this kind of... They have this kind of large... Ooh, what if I give him like a, yeah, like this large throat sac type of thing? And it's like kind of like ribbed. And it keeps its energy in there or something. No, I don't like that. Ooh, I could do something cool maybe with its tail. And maybe make it like swirled. And it can like unfurl it for like a whip attack or something. Armored Godzilla? No, not so much armored. I like Habutaps and Aerodactyl. Yeah, goated choices. I like that they had to turn and give me like Triceratops. Yeah, that's how, like, when you look at Jackson's Chameleon, it's got this kind of like helmet kind of appearance, which is really cool. Okay, let's see. I do like the... Let's try it. Let's do the horns like that. Because the horns kind of jut out of their eye sockets. There is a very Triceratops kind of feel to them for sure. I mean, the shape is feeling really good. For sure. Go to background, go to streamer. Hey, that's my friend. He's so cool. Pookie, you're cooler than me. Stop playing. Android's 3D model unsettles me because its eyes follow you. Is that true? It's a great choice. Thank you, Maximus. Beards. Booksters. What's up? Listen, I cut my hair by myself and it's like kind of messed up, but it's kind of growing in. I'm getting a haircut tomorrow. Uh, earring is show shot. I didn't put on my second earring. Pookie, you're so cool for always hyping me up. Now we shining. Oh yeah, my new vinyl player, guys. I think I showed it to you yesterday. Anyway. Big smile. Thank you, Pookster. That was really nice. Let's start coloring this guy and try to figure out if there's anything else I can do to make him look really cool. He's got like that Godzilla body shape, right? Like that quintessential pseudo legendary feel, right? But I'm wondering if Yeah, exactly. Yeah, my hypes. That's my hype girl right there. I wonder if I should go for a more hunched kind of thing. That'll feel very Godzilla-like as well, you know? Let me see. You know what? Let me extend the feet like this. I think that'll look a lot cooler. Oh yeah, that looks cool. I like Cradley despite its flaws. Dude playing Paramore, my record player, makes me feel so distinguished. Yeah, I would like Cradley exactly, Zach. I'm with you there. Lilipa is very cute. What else did we? What other? What albums? Oh my god! Don't get me started on this. Okay, so what I got to do? I still got to plug everything in. As I was saying yesterday, I got to I gotta cut its particle board in the back. So I gotta move the whole thing. I'm gonna cut 2 holes. Okay, ready, chat? So I have the Japanese albums for Kiki's Delivery Service, Howl's Moving Castle, Mononoke Hime, and Spirited Away. They're on the wall. But what I did, I bought these thingies. So obviously I can hang the albums on the wall, and then I can just go through here and just, I have all the albums here, so I don't have to like, put the discs in the thing. So, da 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 da, Cowboy Bebop. Okay, still sealed. And then Neon Genesis Evangelion. Ghost in the Shell. Ready? People Love Machines in 2029 AD. We're just 5 years away from Ghost in the Shell. And then Akira. So I've only really just started my collection. The Studio Ghibli stuff set me back. They're expensive. All the ones I'm looking at are kind of expensive, like Furikuri, Metal Gear Solid, Nuhabes, and like Samurai Champloo. Legs like Tyranitar definitely work. Next stream is an Overwatch stream. No, I hate that game now. I'm a Valorant boy. That might need to be bigger. I'm surprised Game Freak still haven't done original forms. Yeah, I would love for them to do that. It vibes at the discount. I know this isn't really factored, but college UI, does it still hang out in the sea or does it vibe? Like, so remember, since they're POTEMPO, they're spirits. So, yeah, I think the tail does need to be... Well, it depends. It depends on if... You know what? Maybe what I can do... Maybe I can have this guy's tail be wrapped up. And maybe for the kaiju ones, the evolutions just can be a little more like Pokemon. Like, so you kind of expect something, coming. I'll give him like 1 horn here, maybe. Or I could give him 2 horns like this. Maybe like a slot right here. Because as of right now, he's just very much looks like a teenager version. But again, maybe for the kaiju, it's okay. Especially if I'm going to treat him a little more special. You're telling me a cruel angel wrote that thesis? Actually, super, like, I know, I'm so happy with that one. That one is I think it's the vinyl is like Ein colored. So, do you guys say Ein or Ein? But it's like brown discs. The dad from the Jetsons was born recently? Valorant makes me feel violent. I played lost all my RR and then got like half of it back. Oh no, we gotta play. We gotta get Echo main right here. Nice. I want to be good at Echo. I'm not. Wild idea. What if this boy had vents on his back? I can imagine that after doing a beam, smoke comes out of them. Awesome. Wait, then, what's the world of POTEMPO like? Does it not have biomes or bodies of water? Here's the thing. I will say this. I'm gonna also get back to designing this guy. Can you guys tell I was really excited to share my vinyls with people? So I would say that right now, the world of Potempo, like where their actual home is like largely unknown. You know, as a creator, I don't think I ever want to go into the world of Potempo in the games. Which sounds like an insane thing to say. You know? I gotta say, I like the... I'm gonna try like these kind of ridges. He's slowly become bigger and bigger and chunkier. I am making him more Godzilla-like, it feels like. Let's see. Let me just keep cooking. Flip Your Liver Kong. Yeah, it was a fun movie. It was a really fun movie. At least doing a gold port for DPS with just Echo? Gotcha. Yeah, we kind of gave up on that game and we've moved on to Valorant. I play with Pookie and my brother and whatnot. They were wild for calling film Godzilla Cross Kong. Yeah. Welcome to the world of Potempo, where we don't actually go to the world of Potempo. Yeah, I never said welcome to the world of Potempo. We're gonna go to the world of Oragaya. And in that world, strange creatures have been appearing. The scholars call them Potempo, based on a word that were found in ruins carved millennia ago, when man and these creatures lived together in harmony. Since then... Ooh, wait, hold on. I really like this shape, chat. Hold on. This is kind of coming together a little bit. Hold on. This guy's looking pretty sick. I gotta give him pectoral muscles. How do I make his back interesting? I mean, this looks pretty damn cool in just a few, like, strokes. The game is the reason for my mental issues. Bruh, me too. Look, we asked about your vinyls, me trying to rope everything into being responsible. He's looking for Carnotaurus, and I'm 100 per... Yeah, I guess so. Set it for the lulls. They lived in harmony. The Fire Nation attacked. No. The worst, an even worse nation. Ticket Nation. Is that the right people? I can hear him saying, "Rawr, it's the stance." Very imposing design, especially in reference to the Kong one. So are there rogue Potempos roaming around? If Potempo are trapped in our world, are there any side effects? He's sassy with his roar. Do the roar. I would say, yeah, so like, you know, we've talked about quite a bit, you know, a lot of you guys have asked, Bonnie, is there like an evil Potempo? I'd like the notion that like if they're kind of trapped in our world, right? Only like the strong ones can kind of break through. And then on top of that, I'm wrestling with the idea and notion that more or less, what if like, and you know, I've said this very early on before it was Potempo, back when it was Bonsters, where I was like, what if it's this thing where, for example, like dust bunnies, right? Like that's like the most simplest one to see. That's why normal people came up with the term dust bunny, right? Because they're like, oh, like I think I saw something. It might have just been some dust that was kind of, you know, rolling around, when in reality it was a Potempo, you know? I see your wrist hurting. Take a break, you freaking fwick. Sure, let's take a break, chat, together. along with Godzilla, kind of reminds me of the Kaiju Gamora from Ultraman. Hell yeah. Um, Chef's Kiss, that's a magnificent tail. Excellent design for the Godzilla Potempo. Hell yeah. I think it would be cool if it had different spike design than just straight up leaf plate. Yeah, I want to see what I can get. Like, I'm still building this out, you know? Like, maybe got large spines. Well, so much how you enter the screen. But yeah, Bonnie, rest your hand. Let's chat a while. Yeah, we could chat. Me being nice is a rare sight. Pookie's a sweetheart. She just doesn't never want to show it. Okay, let's chat. Let's chat. I'll keep this up on the screen. You guys can give me feedback and stuff. But this is our break time. What do we want to chat about? You know, we should do more breaks. Maybe you guys can ask me questions. We can talk about design. I'm looking at the designs now. Actually, you know what? I'm going to do... Yeah, let me put the professor up. I think that he's a little too big in this current state. Yeah, I'm going to make the scaling just a little... Actually, this looks pretty good. He could be a little smaller. I want them to be even. And same with Cthulhu. I'll try and color and design Cthulhu tomorrow. So I'll probably put a similar thumbnail, but I will be doing like the AI discussion tomorrow as well. I'm not a sweetheart. I'm evil. If you're not a sweetheart, then why did you give me the first ever flowers I received? Always give me beautiful gifts. Always willing to scoop me for a ride. All this other sweet stuff. Neck almost looks like a Jurassic Park Dilophosaurus or frilled lizard. Hell yeah. Pookie is a tsundere. I sort of imagine Potempo as being sort of like a sponge, if that makes sense. Like it can, in a sense, a person vibing. Yes, absolutely. I think especially with the first form, again, you know, we have a mask, you know, in a cringy way. A mask covers who we are inside, right? But like in a literal sense, that is the case for Potempo, the first forms. They're scared of being in this world. You know, they're fish out of water. So it's up to the mediums, right, who befriend them to be like, this is our world. And only with their friendship and guidance can they break free, reach the potential that's inside, right? So that stuff is very on track for the world I'm building. I sort of imagine it's not that I mean I'm just an asshole. Any updates on your trainer design? Which one? The Bonny art? Like the my self commission? Oh, that's not the right one. Where is it? Oh, here we go. No updates on this. I do have updates. This is coming along really sick. I should probably, as a little break and treat for myself, work on this. I have been working on Rex and Bennett's commissions. Those are coming along nice. I think Zach is calling you short. No. That's not what that means. It means spooky, not tall. In terms of Potempo spirits, how much do they actually affect the physical world? Yeah, absolutely. That's something I've been thinking about a lot. Because like my main thing is, look, people really like the concept of Pokemon because you could be walking around in a brush, right? Or, you know, you walk by a tree and then something attacks you. And part of me thinks like, should I just have Potempo baked into the world, right? Like the actual creatures. And the thing is, again, that would feel a lot like Pokemon. So at which point I can create a Pokemon like, right? But that doesn't mean everything to it has to be like a Pokemon, you know? So I like the idea. Think about it like, again, Digimon is a huge inspiration for me. Think about how when it comes to Digimon, I like when, you know, maybe it is a thing where I create a Potempo world and we go there. But I'm getting flashbacks to one of my all-time favorite films, Digimon, the first movie. And in Tokyo, or wherever it was someplace in Japan where the kids live, Greymon is a massive entity like just battling whatever Digimon it was. And it was so cool to see those things, like they're fish out of water, not having understanding the repercussions of their actions. So I like the idea of like certain Potempo, their spiritual pressure is really strong, right? Maybe when people get a chill down their spine, that's a Potempo, right? There could be like ecological disasters. That could be a Potempo that needs to be wrangled. Those are the people that need to, you know, deal with it. And it could be this thing that the Potempo, maybe the way I write it and world build is more and more Potempo are like crossing over into our world and we don't know why. And these larger third form Potempos are so strong that they more or less bring other Potempo with them. Like they kind of get sucked into their orbit. And that's how we kind of run into them into the overworld. You know, where maybe each thing is caused by some like Titan level threat. And maybe there's like a sect of people who are tracking Potempo and trying to, you know, return them to their place before they kind of go wild. But yeah. Also, the Godzilla dude, you kind of gives me Rhino Beetle vibes as well. Hell yeah. I love Rhino Beetles and beetles in general. I commissioned you. That's not a slide name, just forgetful. I got you. I've been working on it. Magical biomes caused by Potempo. Yeah, it could be really cool that like certain areas, like another thing that I thought about way before is exactly that, where you're basically, you know, going into, I don't want to say domains, but like habitats where like Potempo, think of it like the wild area from Pokemon, right? Where the wild area is the section that you walk through that, you know, you can interact with Pokemon in that new way at the time. It could be cool to have sections like that in the map where those are areas where like the Potempo world cross over. That might be the way to do it. All the Gothics are inhabiting a haunted house. Too cute. This is a Digimon series where the protagonist created his own Digimon. It was like, why aren't there any giant Lego buildings? Fun fact in Digimon the movie, the Angela Anaconda segment had up because what does that mean? Angela Anaconda? Paramon, that's who Greymon was fighting? Okay, thank you. Speaking of Digimon, have you watched the new movie? I haven't caught up for Digimon in a long time. Shapes or spines? Star shape, stalagmite shape, flame shape, sword shape. Sword shape probably not because of Excalibur. Range shape, dragon spikes. Yeah, it'll be a bunch of exploration for sure. You guys want to see little updates on the commissions? Here's the Empoleon commission kind of coming along. Handsome buff guy. Honestly, I could finish it in another 2 passes, I think. This part is kicking my ass getting the exact shape. And I can't wait to paint this out. The water strings will be really sick. Yeah, that's Rex, one of Rex's characters. So the design's kind of been changed in subtle ways. Things that I'm messing around with. I kind of opened this over here. Luard is my shepherd I shall not want. What does that mean? Cool bard. Was show lost to time? Really? Any thoughts on Exorcist in the Potempo world? I think it'd be fit. Yeah, that would be really cool, right? If we're thinking about like mediums, I think something like that would be really cool. And maybe like there's a sect of people who are like, no, don't banish them. We should be their friends. Something like that would be cool. But yeah, I've just been, you know, manipulating the shapes here and there. And then here's Bennett's commission. I needed to just mute just a little bit, but I fixed up her body quite a bit. It's almost done. It looks pretty damn good, if I might say so myself. I gotta fix his design over here, his like racer fit. But almost done. I really like how it's come out. How much are your commissions, terms, and advice? What's your tips? My commissions, they cost per, what I'm doing. Like, for example, something where I'm drawing 7 characters, a trainer plus 6 more, costs a lot more than, say, the one that Rec commissioned. On top of that, I gave Rec a different kind of price as well, because he commissioned for 2, so I kind of locked him in for a little bit of a price. But above all, never undersell yourself as an artist, even if you're fearful of losing the client. It's a different story if you're like scrapped on cash or something, but art is a luxury, right? You're going to just find clients who respect and value artists' time. And above all, you got to respect your own time. Right? I've seen people charge so little. It's harmful not only to themselves, but artists around them. Because now other artists is going to see what they're doing and then expect that price to be a norm when it's not. So it really depends. Like, how much experience you have, how fast, you have, like, you can do hourly rates. You've got to factor in things like reworks and redesigns, or not redesigns, but revisions. For example, if you charge $100 for a commission and it takes you 5 hours to finish that commission, that means you're paying yourself $20 an hour, right? And let's not forget, like, you might be spending time consulting the person, right? Like chatting with them about their wants and needs, and you're drafting in a second draft and lines. At some point, if that 5-hour commission turns into 10 hours, you spent one whole day just about, right? Like a 10-hour day for $10 an hour. You're ripping yourself off. You know what I mean? Respect your time, Bonnie? Mostly. No, I'm kidding. Write that down. Hell yeah. Okay, cool. Let me get back into the design. We're about 2 hours in. It's now 8:30 or 8:23. I'm going to call stream today at 9 today. So we've got some time to kind of wrap up and figure out this, again, first pass for a Godzilla design, right? It's not like this King Kong is going to stay exactly the same. So, all right. Will you ever do a stream drawing POTEMPO characters? Yes, 100,000,000%. I might do it next week. I think it's about time we go back into the human characters. I think next week I also want to do a stream designing what do you call it? The capture device. The capture device is something I really want to figure out. Okay, let me make these guys a little smaller so they fit in their bounding box. The second form is a little boring because it's kind of like the teenager version, so I will, at some point, kind of figure out what to do with that. I've always considered doing commissions, but I have zero idea how that works. Yeah, I mean, I can definitely teach you guys. I could chat about that right now. That's interesting to you guys while I work on this stuff. Also, it's so hot. Don't make fun of my hair. It's like a mohawk type of thing. I try to cut my own hair. I'm getting it cleaned up tomorrow, okay? Get a nice burst fade. Oof, that feels so good. Wearing hats in your house? Okay. Sure, one day. Yeah, do you guys want me to teach you guys more about commissions? A lot about commissions and stuff, chat, is truly, truly, truly like a matter of respecting yourself, Start at a Fiverr. Do not do Fiverr. Fiverr is the biggest ripoff to yourself you could ever do. Okay? Fiverr is like an affront to humanity. It exists to take advantage of people. What am I hearing about? I feel like working on human characters and capture devices at the same time. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Because that's how I was kind of doing the lamp stuff, right? So with commissions, like I said, above all, you've just got to really... You've got to really protect yourself, right? That's why, like, you want to include a clause in your commission rates where you discuss, you know, if we work on... Damn, I gotta avoid Baxcalibur stuff. I'm trying to do, like, a green, like a seafoam green, but I'll just keep messing around. Say, you recommend artistry? I've never even heard of that. What is that? You use default brushes or do personal brushes that you're willing? These are not personal ones I've made. These are brushes by one of my favorite artists, Alexander Zedig de Boudouin. I believe is how you pronounce the last name. I may have butchered that. Sorry, Alex. He's an amazing artist, and so it's free brushes on Photoshop. I've been using them for, like, God, I'm gonna say 10 years, maybe. You know, like a long time. Concept for this Potempo jelly. Did you not see the thumbnail? Godzilla. Final form would look like with the spiked crest crown. Green and purple, EVA 1 colors. I do love me some green and purple. Which they are also giant robots, so it could be like a fun crossover. I do have blue for this guy. Now, granted, blue is a fun color. It does feel aquatic. I am treating these kind of... Ooh. I did want to do, like, nudibranch style, like, wavy kind of stuff. What's the self-respect? Oh my god. Correct. Once you teach self-respect, you're never going back. I'm just kidding. I know you guys respect yourselves. Make sure you guys put yourself first as artists. I know it's very exciting when you get people reach out to you and they want to commission you. And you're like, oh, I don't want to. I've had many people tell me this. They're like, Bon, I'm afraid they're going to say no if I tell them the price. Okay. They can't afford your work. If you're broke, just say that. No, that's mean. But what I'm saying is, you're not going to go to a store and you're like, oh, I don't know what the price of this thing is. You think the client or like the shop is going to be like, oh, I don't want to tell them the price because then they're not going to want to buy it. Yeah, that's probably true. But if you're, you know, in a business, you're selling your stuff, you're more than likely know who your clientele is, right? Apple sets their prices for a certain reason, right? They're expensive, but people buy their stuff, right? For their own reasons, I'm sure. But these kind of things are calculated, right? So, same thing can be said for your art. If people commission me for Pokemon Cross D&D, that's like something I was developing, right? I've got like a voice and a look feel that's unique to me. You could go to another artist, right? And say, hey, I have my favorite Pokemon is Gardevoir, and I want you to make this Echo Knight Gardevoir in the style of Pokemon D&D by Bonny John. The guy could be like, yeah, sure, I'll try. And you may or may not get a good product. And maybe he'll charge you less or something. But why would you go to that store to get that product when you can come to my store, right? Same thing with, say, Adidas and Nike. They both sell shoes, right? And artists, they sell their art. But you might like Nike's designs more than Adidas, you know? That's your preference, and you would go to that store and give them their money, right? So, could Sully turn to purple as it evolves? Maybe. Oh, I remember. What about the Glaucus? What is the Glaucus? to you. Well, I figured you're doing your own spin. Yeah, for sure. Trying to definitely make it inspired and not literally Godzilla. My issue is finding the energy to work on stuff. That does worry me because art is something you're inspired by, right? So it just sounds like, because, you know, I've heard this problem from you before. It just sounds like you're working on stuff that you are not inspired by. If I'm being completely honest, finding the energy to work on stuff is not a good sign. You know, when I'm sitting here, for example, when I'm working on client stuff, I have the energy because I'm getting paid and I need to pay for bills and I need to pay for food and I want to survive. But if it's creative stuff, like POTEMPO, I can sit here, pull up stuff, and work on it, knowing that this is something I'm passionate about, that other people are interested in to see. They're supporting me, right? So that's the kind of stuff you have to sit down and think, like, am I spiritually being fed by this work, right? And if the answer is no, then time to move on, you know? And that's not a bad thing. It's a good thing, so you don't waste your time. If you're not inspired by something, why would you give it your energy, you know? All right. I like whittling this stuff down. We'll see if the design works once I kind of finish this pass. Hoping to start commission soon. Good, good, good. Expensive or not, you still got to eat that price is justified. Yeah, and like even then, I wouldn't say expensive, right? Like art is a luxury, not a commodity, right? It's a really cool thing to have custom work done for you, right? Like that's something you get to have forever. It's something that lives in your house. It's something that was made for you by someone you love or admire or respect. You know, that in reality, at the end of the day, the kind of comfort and happiness that gives you is priceless, right? Did a single commission by payment lock me out instead of letting the payment go through? The hell? Blue Angel Dragon Sea Slug. PayPal is a scam, man. I use PayPal completely fine. I use cash. I mean, if you're an artist, you should really be you should be using everything. Zelle, Cash App. You don't want to be the artist who doesn't have the option. In the words at my very first con, someone was teaching me how to just be a better business person, and that's literally just accept money, you know? And so if you could accept their money through any of those things, that's a huge help to them because they want to give you the money. So have a Zelle, have a Cash App, have a PayPal, have a Venmo. I have all of that. So that way, the client can pay me however they want. I'm getting paid one way or another. You know? My mind is always inspired. My body is tired. On a very serious note, go to the doctor. Because if I'm correct, you're on the younger side. Younger people are allowed to feel tired. I hate when people would tell me, and even now they'll tell me, you're too young to be tired or have back pain. I'm like, you think pain, like discriminates against age? No. Except money's so valid. Yeah, like, because what happened was this girl, she wanted to buy a sticker from me at my very first con. And she's like, I have this $5 and I really like your diva sticker, but, I haven't seen all the boots. And me, just being me, this is my personality. I'm like, oh, okay, understandable. Why don't you go around and look around and see if there's, anything that catches your eye, and if there isn't, you can come back and, you know, um, buy the thing. And she's like, nah, I'm probably gonna forget. And then afterwards, she told me like, next time just accept the money. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah, you're right. Chronic fatigue around 20. It could be many things. You could be in a slump, like you might, need to get to the therapist and just chat with them and see them what's going on. You might have, some sort of deficiency with, your body that you don't know of, like vitamins or, some. Definitely try and get that stuff kind of sorted out. Because like if it's an extended thing and there's like a pattern, that's scary. Hey, Jay, I couldn't have said it any better myself. Budgeting your energy. I love that. Even like, your mental, right? Like, I don't really like this face, by the way, but I'm just going to keep it for now, just as like, placeholder as I figure out this design. But yeah, I would definitely think about where it is you're, giving your energy that you feel stressed, that it's affecting your creative work, your mind, you know? Yeah, I gotta figure. I like these kind of bands on the body, It kind of looks like armor. The spot's going to be more present on sale. Could have more on the neck. Yeah, it might or might not be. I think it's probably going to be cleaner without the spots. I do like them a lot. What do you guys think? Should I give them the Venusaur spots? I really do love those patterns. Like, I want to give it to a lot of POTEMPO. It just make them feel kind of natural, right? Like, it kind of gives them like a natural pattern. I'm also getting Akira Toriyama vibes, chat. Maybe the frill could look like a crown. No, I don't want to do a crown, like I said, because I don't want him to be perceived as like stronger than the other kaiju. They're all going to be on equal footing. You guys know what I mean? Like the Akira Toriyama dinosaurs? I don't know if I like the horn for the nose. I kind of like it and I kind of don't. I like the spots a lot. I wish it was more. Yeah, right, Jelly? I think I'm going to do that. It's nice. I don't think they're needed. You could have... Yeah, that's the thing. Venusaur does have warts instead of spots. It's weird. Although Mega Venusaur gets like a triple bindi on his head. Yeah, spots. It's nice. I don't think it's needed. I like the spots a lot. I'm definitely going to be, for sure, sprinkling those spots like this in all my little designs throughout, for sure. Maybe there's something to having some Shin Godzilla. So, I never really knew about Shin Godzilla until today, and that shit is so creepy and freaky and weird. I know I've been spending a lot of time trying to improve my life. I know where my problem spots are. I'm tackling. I'm getting more energy to do things I enjoy. Good. Why not give them all crowns? Because they could be all respective crowns of like a specific domain or something. But if there's ever a time that I'm going to incorporate crowns into a design, I'd probably leave it for the mythics, But I can make a case that the mythics are mythical and a crown doesn't need to dictate their strength. Now, from a design perspective, just to like, it might need to be something that I do. But it is possible to give them all crowns if need be. But I don't think it's entirely needed. How do I draw? I was like trying to give him T-Rex style arms, but now he just looks like a cute puppy. I do like the spots. Made me think like the fragments of rock could work if it's a lithic. Good point, Maximus. I think the Norseman could be good if it were more curved upwards. Yeah, it probably would need to be upwards so it doesn't feel like a nose. And just more like... I mean, this is kind of cool. He's like a Triceratops dragon, like chameleon thingy. I don't hate it. But I think the cool part about this design, however I figure it out, is that I could probably really do a lot of different designs for the head. And like something cool will eventually, find its way into the design, which would be cool. There's something there. Exactly. The diamond in the rough. There's something there. Chameleon, Dragon, Tyranitar. Yeah, exactly. Otherwise, this design's really shaping up. I'm liking him. I really do like him a lot. I thought Shin Godzilla was like a Super Saiyan form. Draco will know. So Draco needs to chime in, please, sir. Shin Godzilla is like the one that's like really creepy, that's like constantly in pain because it's evolving so quickly. Is that correct or am I wrong? And Shin Godzilla's got this creepy tail with like a xenomorph mouth or head or something on it. I just looked it up for the first time today and I was taken aback by it, to say the least. So as of right now, this is a very simple and basic design. I don't like the green and blue, by the way. So whether or not there's more to the theme will remain to be seen. But at the same time, I think it's kind of cool that I can make my own version of, say, a Tyranitar. We look at Tyranitar, it's not even a dragon type, right? It's just, this dragon dinosaur. It's more dinosaur looking to me, or like Godzilla looking kind of thing. And it just looks cool. It's just darkened ground, or rock rather, I think, and it just looks cool. But it's not like it has like a really crazy kind of design. Same thing with Dragonite. People like Dragonite. It's not like Dragonite has like an insane design to it, right? So I think as long as I fulfill making a cool dragon that fills the gap of having a cool dinosaur dragon thing, that's the most important thing. Right? I could still give him the spots thing, and I feel like it would. It might be too much, but right now the spots are tonally colored. It could be that they're colored a different color, I gotta get the head down. Godzilla for Lithic, Runic, Kong for Runic. No, Kong wouldn't be Runic. I think Kong, well, if Kong has electric powers, which I don't think I'm going to do, I think it's gonna be Godzilla. I could give this guy energy beam, right? Because it just feels. I mean, I'm gonna have another dragon. So that dragon can be runic because it'll spit fire. Maybe this guy could just be more like thrashing and slashing and biting. So he could be lithic. Kong could be typic. And I think, yeah, Cthulhu would be gothic. Right? Maybe there's something to only having 2 horns. Depends if I want to go that chameleon route or not. I can imagine a corrupted version of this guy being more like Shin Godzilla. Speaking of which, have you established how the corruption... Well, because I don't know if I'm going to go the corruption route. I haven't really thought about it. Shin Godzilla is just another iteration, not its super form. The super form of Godzilla is Burning Mode, Evolved, or Super Godzilla. This only one said video game. Did Bonnie with an IE accidentally make a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles villain Land Before Time? We'll see. Hell yeah. Dragon Knight's just a YouTube kids version of Charizard is crazy, Zach. I've been sitting with my family watching it. I said something after a while, but be quiet. Oh, I forgot you were there. That's okay. You know, you're just chilling. Shin is just another Godzilla iteration, but that's like the most creepiest one, I think, right? King Kong used lightning was that one movie that no one watched. I snuck up on my parent all the time, never tried to do so. Yeah, some people have that disposition. Comments have been read. Let me get the eyes back. You know what? Maybe he doesn't need that. This does look cool, but I'm getting very Tyranitar vibes. The smaller face is definitely Tyranitar vibes. And then I kind of like this too. Ooh, what's happening here? No, not stone. Oh, don't forget to look up Glaucus. True. I may still use the chameleon. Maybe not. Let's see. Glaucus Atlanticus. Oh yeah, that's who I was kind of looking up. That could be a good inspiration for color, just because it is very nice. It could be, you know what? Looking at the Glaucus, it's got like the black tips. It's pretty cool, but yeah, it's a little too wavy. But, I mean, it could be cool if I could incorporate it somehow. Okay, we gotta get the hands down for this guy, or the arms, I should say. Pete, I'll be right back. Not a worry, Jelly. Enjoy your meal. No one expects the Spanish requisition. Well done. Kind of looks like a shark. I love that. Maybe a bigger jaw like Tyrantrum. I think I don't, just because I like Godzilla's like smaller face. But I mean, Never something I'm not gonna like not try. He really looks like a Toriyama dinosaur. No, I don't hate that. I don't hate that. Yeah, let's shrink down his face a little bit. That'll give him a more bigger look feel. Oh, I was gonna do this, but that's like straight up Charizard. That's Charizard Y, right? What if he had an underbite? I do love me an underbite. I think to remedy that, maybe have the horns bigger. Maybe. Could be bigger horns. Looking really badass. Thank you, Raikar. Big idea moment for a theme. Godzilla for ice, Cthulhu for water, Liquid Kong for steam vapor. Huh. Oh, that's true. The only thing is Godzilla Ice is going to lean too much into, I think, Excalibur, who's already, you know, I did that about sort of thing is different enough from Tyranitar. Snout. Smaller arms, I think so. Right now, having his arms have been absorbed into the body. I came by to say stretch, hydrate, and blink. Bye, Danny. Thank you very much. Chat, you heard her. Let's all stretch. It's 2 hours, 21 minutes. Oh, shit. So this is what I'm going to do. We're almost done with this design, meaning the first pass. And I do think it looks pretty cool. I'm going to finish the arms. I'm going to wrap up in 7 minutes. Well, actually, you know what? It's 2 hours, 21. 2 hours, 22. 8 minutes, chat. Someone set a timer for 8 minutes. Let's try to get this design down. Tomorrow, I'm going to work on Cthulhu. I'm going to work on Bigfoot and then the middle stage form. All right. I've become a moist pretzel. Chat, I had something called a pizza pretzel. Have you ever heard about this? Forgot about Excalibur? It's okay. He's the Godzilla, right? The true Godzilla that people have been waiting for. No one can make me blink. And you're sitting there like this. I'm spread out like he's trying to grapple someone. Maybe, right? Put him up here, Shane. You got the fisticuffs. I think it's just gonna be a general like Tyranitar / Dragonite kind of pose. Like, you really can't do much with these guys who got like these, you know, larger kind of hands. You know, Godzilla has it by his sides. I don't think they necessarily feel out of place either. Like, from Auntie Ann's. Yeah, I had it at Costco, and it was kind of mid. They gave me marinara. They made it a little better, but I was just doing a handstand. Just imagine this Godzilla, Primordial Fire Roar, use Kingly Roar. I don't know what its move would be. It could be, I think, something with Roar or like a Tail Stomp or Tail Slash. Yeah, I would have to sit down and come up with cool. It would be really cool to give every one of these guys, or maybe I do a thing where all third stage POTEMPO learn some sort of cool. You know what I'll do? I'm gonna do this. I'm going to on a new layer draw his arms, so I have like a lot more wiggle room. This is gonna be a lot of people's favorite POTEMPO, chat. I'm telling you right now, this might be one of the Charizards of POTEMPO. be really funny if he had such big tail and sharp teeth, but it just punches you. Falcon! No, you gotta have it on the ends. That's the only way you should eat it. Yeah, you know what? I might have to try that. I always like their little their little pretzel bites. But I've never to this day bought it. Like, my friends will just give me what they get. Let's put his arms. What do you guys think of this? Something like this feels right. It's kind of like dinosaur T-Rex like. It looks like he's ready to brawl. I really love, you know what I love, chat? I love his like really strong shape for his back. He definitely needs to have something cool for his shoulder pauldrons. Maybe it's like these extended spikes. Yeah, I gotta really sit down and figure out. I mean, I think that's pretty cool. I mean, this looks pretty cool, chat. Flame Talon. I'm gonna touch you. Take care, Jay. Have a good one. We're taking a break. Everyone goes to Aunt the Ants closer to you. I would love that. He needs a name. He has talents and he looks like he can shoot flames. I like Flame Talon. It might be it. Ross Me writes, those trio become like legendary bestiary like Leviathan, Behemoth, and Ziz. Exactly that. He looks dope. I love giant armored lizards. Good. Talonflame when he meets Green Thumb and Trenchfoot. IDK. Put that on a poster. Absolutely positively love this. My top #1 favorite Potempo. Yeah! I know if Draco likes my reptilian design, I know it's good. Let's give him maybe some bands kind of here, like maybe alternating. I want him his pecs. I'd be giving like pec muscles to all my creatures. Now we got to get the right color. I don't love this color. But I mean, you know what, chat? Like, this is honestly a pretty damn good first pass, I think. It's not like it needs to be super complex design. It just needs to be a cool dinosaur. This guy rules out the line? Hell yeah. 1 minute to 9? Copy. Let me mess around with colors real quick. Oh, you know what? Let me put his buddy Kong next to him. Nice, awesome. Oh, thank you. Maybe saturations. I'm gonna figure it out right now. This will be the last thing I do for the stream tonight. Right. Yo, these guys look sick. He's gotta be a little smaller. Godzilla, do you fight besides me? I do, my brother. Oh, no. They start fighting the bad guys. Godzipples? I'm sure you're seeing the Godzilla Potempo. WTF is that? This is my son. Godzipples is crazy. Okay, so here's like their size. Feels pretty good. Again, they're not like real kaiju, but they will be among the bigger tempo in the game. Like, if either of you guys were beside you, you would feel hella protected. Why don't you use dark blue with black body bound accent for Godzilla? Because then that'd be too much like Godzilla. As I've said, welcome back. A lot's been done. It's true. I'm getting ready to wrap up. Orange, maybe lithic gives me brown, orange, yellow. That's true. Not reading that, Dingus. All right, let me do. Okay, so here's Kong. Let me figure out the colors, and then we'll call it a night. Yeah. Yo, this is cool. 8 minutes are up. Yeah. Technically, you know what? Thank you for, keeping track of the time. What I will simply do, I'm not going to draw anymore except these tiny little bands. And then I'm going to figure out what my Godzilla wannabes colors are. And then I shall call it a night. Tomorrow, like I said, I'm going to do Bigfoot's design. I'm going to talk about AI art in the Pokemon competition that recently happened. And then I'm going to work on the middle. Oh, and I'm going to work on Cthulhu as well. So there's going to be 3 designs I have to do. Cthulhu will be my first and foremost objective for tomorrow. But if I have time after doing the other stuff, I would love to work on Bigfoot and the middle stage. I may have to do Honengyo for the second one. He's looking fluff and cool. Would this Kaiju trio be boss tempo? Yeah, they could potentially be boss trio. I think so for sure. Yeah, I am the one. Exactly. Yeah, that's me, Rek. I hate to say it. But, like, I'm not drawing, so I'm kind of giving my wrist a rest. I'm going to just kind of mess around with colors. Wait. Oh, you guys can't see it. Crap. I kind of like this green. I'm going to keep this very simple, making it feel like Gen 1, Gen 2 dragons. Like, it's not going to be overtly crazy or anything. Let me try this guy in green. Oh, crap. But the thing is, chat. I mean, my Cthulhu doesn't have to be green. So there's a green version. Let's try... I do think a brownish version would go really hard. It's worth it to explore. I can't lock in automatically and be like, I want these guys to automatically be, this color. The red is kind of dope. Not the purple with it. Although, I'm getting Groudon vibes. Red and green? Low-key. Oh, you know why I like this? Because it looks like Rathalos. That's why I like this one. I get a little twofer? Nah, it's a little too on the nose with Rathalos. And then I'll keep this one like a more blue exploration. Or I'll do like this grayish kind of color. Like the slate gray blue. It would look really nice. Because that would also kind of be in line with Godzilla. Then I'd want it to maybe, let's try like a... Hold on. This feels like Godzilla without... Well, no, now this looks like a parody version of Godzilla, right? I mean, I really like that one too. Maybe an orange or a terracotta. Jelly, you might be cooking. Yeah, instead of the Rathalos red, let's do like... Yeah, because the red wouldn't really be viable. I do like an orange. Evil Dragon, I'd be like. Let me mute this green a little bit. I think the neon green on the left is like too much. Ooh. Hold on, I kind of like this one, chat. Maybe a spot to like neon green or something. It could be like a fun nod to like, you know, his origin with like radioactive. All of these are very valid. Cthulhu gives me blue or purple or black kind of vibes. I think you're right. It could be instead of green, right? Make it purple. This potential is a dinosaur of Bond's imagination. Magenta, yellow, and cyan. That's true too, right? Instead of being like red, blue, green. Magenta, yellow, cyan would be cool too. Second stage sale for Godzilla reminding me of Chameleon mythology made from India. Ooh, double check for me because I would love to use that. Orange gives Charizard vibes. Oh, that's true. Could be Charizard, could be Dragonite. POTEMPO could have slightly different color variants, more than one, similar to how in the anime we see Ash's Lapras family have different shades of blue. Oh, is that true? I do plan on giving shinies, so... you know, chat, so I have like 3 varieties here. Oh, wait, you know what? Let me try... I never tried the EVA unit color. Oh, wait. This purple with the lime green? Because the green, not lime green, but the green also kind of has a radioactive vibe too. All good choices. What about brown? Yeah, I mean, brown is a little boring, I think. But it would be very fitting for a mythic level. Oh, actually, it doesn't look kind of bad. Maybe I do orange for the body color. Wait, that goes so incredibly hard. Hold on, the orange and brown kind of goes hard. Maybe you could have like you know what it is? I'm also kind of, I could do a third color. What if I did like... maybe like secondary colors like this? You see? Oh, that could be cool. Purple does slap, right? Maybe monochromatic. Instead of colored, try black and white Godzilla. Sucker for the purple. I love that purple. Purple's so good. Brown feels too much like... good more. Well, yes and no. Hold on. Chat's really liking this purple, and I am too. Exactly what it's thinking. Yellow could work for this one as well. Let me try. Because the green definitely gives like radioactive vibes, you know? But I also like this green at the top too, with the radioactive green splotches. It's definitely something I've got to sit down and think about, chat. There's like a white bot. Oh, that's like Grata. No, Grata's like gray. All right, either way, there's a lot to sit down and think about. Purple looks like Nidoking. Now I see it. Oh, I guess, yeah, purple is kind of like Nidoking, although Nidoking's more pink, but I see what you're saying. Are there any lizard Pokemon that's purple and yellow? I don't think so. Salazzle is like black or dark gray. Purple and yellow don't look bad. Oh, wait a second. Chat. Purple and orange. Hold on. The purple and orange go hard. Yeah, I don't like the yellow, but the green is also nice too. But the green seems too vibrant. I like the purple and the orange. Alright. Purple is Barney and he loves you. I love him. You made this in Indie Nation? What is Indie Nation? Black back and purple underbelly, maybe? That would look like Gore Magala, who is very cool. Thing is, oh man, black is gonna look insane. Black is gonna look evil. That's my only fear. Like, don't get me wrong, black will look the freaking coolest. Oh, even black and orange. I'm getting Greymon vibes here. What if instead of purple it was like this blue kind of color? Oh, that feels like Godzilla as well, actually. Nah, let's not do that because the Godzilla vibes will be too strong. Let me try with purple, though, just for... You know what? Let me try... Yeah. Let me just try. Yeah, he's just going to look... Black and purple is just straight up evil looking. And there's no contrast. Go both. More desaturated green, black and orange. So tired, must say goodbye. Goodbye. Black and purple Ender Dragon or Gore Magala. Mega Charizard X with the... Yeah, oh yeah, you're right. This one is... So I'm going to have to come up with a color palette that... Obviously, I don't mind if there's some connection. But like, either it's going to look like Charizard, or Tyranitar, or Gamora, or Gore Magala, or da-da-da-da, you know? I think the one that I might be able to get away with that feels most original is something like this. I kind of like that one. I mean, I'm also really liking the purple and the orange. It could be a little more desaturated because I do think it might look a little too... Oh yeah. Here's like a more desaturated purple. Under Godzilla, kind of looks like the Power Rangers Super Sentai Ultraman monster. Good, good. I want him to feel like a kaiju like that. There are only so many color schemes, but you know, it doesn't mean you give up. I mean, with the brown and green one, this one right here. Brown. This one's like brown, green, orange. I like that one too. He feels like a true king of the earth type. Not, I don't want to say king again, but like he looks like he's like the earth, like made of the earth that he rules. You know. However you want to word that. Purple back and green underbelly. Yeah, that's kind of like what I had over here at one point. But I guess my only thought with this, even though I don't have Pokemon types, it does read a little poison type. Which, I mean, it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world if he's inspired by a radioactive dragon god, you know? The one's my favorite. Barney Boy. So out of all, I'm down for the orange and brown. Okay, I'm gonna let this sit. We'll see how we feel about it tomorrow. I think, you know, once I kind of figure out the exact head size and shape and all that kind of stuff, I think also, you know, eventually figuring out what domains these guys go in will also make a big difference. I mean that no matter what, the color scheme should be connect back to something as long as the individual trades aren't exactly. You can have the. Yeah, exactly. I don't want certain connections, but I also agree that it shouldn't limit the choice of something. Because again, people are going to always just make their connections no matter what. I think I do like the brown one. Yeah, the brown one feels very naturalistic. It feels like a legit dinosaur, right? That's the vibe I'm getting. This one does really feel like War Greymon or Greymon. But, you know, that's fine. This is a good place to end this session. I like the green, blue, and purple ones. Yeah, I mean, I think they're all beautiful in their own way. Fortunately, the design is simple and fun enough to carry these different colors. My vote's on purple. Purple is a very fun one. As far as what feels kind of original, I would say the greenish one feels like it could be its own thing. The brown one kind of feels like it's most fitting for its domain. The blue one is really nice. It's giving me like Godzilla vibes, but after the Mega Charizard comment, I feel like I could change this one up. You know what? Maybe I could do. Hold on. What if I did? Yeah, maybe something like that. Hold on. And I give this like a tinge of green. I kind of like this one. Like a darker version of that one. Kind of like this one now. Okay. Maybe the blue could be its shiny. It could be anything. I can't promise anything. The shiny, all these colors are so fun. It could end, any of these could end up as it. If I don't choose the purple, I'd want to make the purple one the shiny one, like the Neon Genesis kind of vibe. Seems really fun. Um, it might need to be a more grounded color, but again, also another thing is the colors of of it of the other members of the trio will also affect this one, right? Maybe make a community poll. No, it's way too early to decide something like that. This is like a very first pass. Like I said, the color of the other kaiju potempos, the domain it belongs to will have a big influence to it. It's way too early to commit, you know. Honestly, I think I can't choose. I like the purple. The dark teal is interesting. Maybe the different belly color. That blue green looks epic. A lot we can explore, chat. I'm 20 minutes past my time, but it was fine and fun because we got to discuss colors. I'm very happy with what we have here. I can't wait to do a second pass for its design. You know, it's mostly feeling like set in stone. Because again, I don't need to go any really super crazy with this design. It doesn't need fire on its tail. It doesn't need wings. It just needs to be a big, large dragon. You know, I'm fitting that trope, right? In the same way, I have a big, large ape monkey thing. So, you do a color scheme where the underbelly is darker than the body. That would be a very. That would definitely make it look different. I'll try it. But it'll be my last one, so I can call it a night as we get to almost 3 hours stream today. Make Rodin Kaija base cryptic call open, please. Pterodactyl. I would love to do a pterodactyl at some point. Let me try like an earthy one where it's like a more darker inside, and then I kind of want to do orange. Kamen Rider insect. I do love me some Kamen Rider. Oh, this is like Charizard colors, I just realized. Crap. Orange is probably the one color we don't want to make this dragon guy. That does look interesting. I gotta obviously get a different one. Rodan Potempo. I don't really know what he looks like exactly. I'm assuming it's some sort of pterodactyl. It doesn't help the colors I chose are earthy, but they're also like humanoid as in earthy colors. I'm not planning on adding any more different Potempo right now. Like I've got like a good solid selection. So stuff to potentially think about for a Gen 2, but again, I can't act like a Gen 2 is something that's owed to me. Yellow. Maybe that's like too much like a banana. We do like green. No, I don't know if I like. No, it's the colors I'm choosing, but I think I'm gonna like lighter inside with armor darker. Okay, I'll delete that. Chat, I'm gonna call it. We're almost at 3 hours. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I appreciate you. So I'm going to, again, probably start tomorrow's stream with like an AI discussion and then get into the Cthulhu stuff. It'll be a more chill stream because I feel like I fried my brain this past 3 days. These are like some of the hardest potempos I've had to make because there's a high expectation. I really like the Kong one. I really like the Godzilla one. We'll definitely get Cthulhu's design done tomorrow, since I have like a good base of understanding. So, yeah, guys, have a wonderful day. I'll see you tomorrow. You guys take care. Be well. Have a good night. And for next time, don't be late.